Beats Planet.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? Where's my notebook? Fuck, I lied. Hold on. Shit, my bad. Okay. Hey, here we go. What's up, y'all? Voch Lombardi, Lombardicus Prime here. We're back. I promised y'all that I'm trying to be consistent about my draft shows, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 Central PM. Okay, I'm trying to be consistent about it. So we here, and I promised I was just gonna play Red Dead and just ignore the hell out of this. But this is the most pivotal time of year for me. You know what I'm saying? This is where I really start to make my babies. This is really where I take the bag full of nipples and my sewing kits, and I really start to put the nipples on them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really starting to, you know what I'm saying, formulate all the breastises, you know what I'm saying? So thanks everybody for tuning in and being here with me. I'm really trying to get this thing together. So just kind of setting the table for y'all or whatnot. So next week is going to be like the biggest show I've ever done in my YouTube scouting type of deal or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty big deal for me. You know, for about 3 years or so, I was really standoffish with my information. I wasn't really trying to work very much. I was a draft fan. So even with acquiring all this information, I was going to Miss Scouting Pro says, please text Mark Holmes and see if he's okay. He tried to be Ian Rappaport and did an entire live on a fake schedule. Miss Scouting Pro, will you please take a seat, get your snacks, and listen, please? What was I saying? So next week is going to be some of the biggest, 3 of the biggest shows I've ever done in my YouTube scouting career. I used to be very standoffish with you. People say, Voch, are you gonna go live? Voch would say, no, I'm gonna enjoy the draft as a fan. F y'all, but I tell you what, man, when you got web slingers in your closet and that damn red suit just shining in there and Tony Stark and Nick Fury saying, yo, man, come on, bro. And I just think about what Uncle Ben said, you know what I mean? Like, you got responsibilities, my guy. And I was like, no, not going to be able to do it. But Uncle Ben said, no, you got responsibility, my guy. So I'm going to be going live for the draft. 3 days. I'm going to be tired as hell, but there's no reason for me to acquire all this knowledge and not be able to spread it to the masses and not being able to be there for y'all when y'all need somebody to talk draft with a little bit of swag and humor. You know what I mean? Of course, you can listen to Mel Kiper talk football in a suit, but you could tune into my show, and I'll give you fantastic information about these picks, and I may end up roasting Mel Kiper on his nose about how it looks like, when he takes his glasses off, the nose and mustache come with it. You know what I mean? Like I've been waiting to do a laid-back professional live stream about draft for years. You know what I'm saying? And I finally get to do one. Let me take a sip of my happy juice. So I finally get to do that. So I'll be doing on all 3 days of the draft. I'm going to be doing pregame. That's going to be 1 hour prior to the draft. I'm going to be doing the actual draft for every single team. And I talk about how that player that you just drafted fits within your depth chart. And we're going to be doing post-draft shows, okay, where I set the phones up like I do on a regular and let y'all call in and react, and I'll react with you, okay? So y'all talk me into it. Me and the masses are finally gonna duel. Me and Destiny's finally gonna get this thing done. All right, but that's enough of that. Let's set up the show for today. So I have a few positions that I have left to study. I really wanted to put my foot in the ass of DBs. I'm writing this down as I say it. I want to put my foot in the ass of DBs. I've really procrastinated on linebackers because they make my head hurt. And I'm going to do one final look on tight ends before this thing is over with. You know what I'm saying? So DBs, linebackers, and tight ends, that's basically what we're going to be doing. And then after that, I'm going to, take any guys that I may have missed, and we're gonna sew that thing up real good. But I'm doing DBs. So last night I looked at DBs and Rio just dropped another 50 in the super chat because he's one of them ones. Fuck. I mean frick. Fudge. Poop. Rio, what you doing, man? What's the deal, my guy? Look, I understand we on a first name basis and all that, but my G, what are you doing, my G? What's the deal here? You got a question, Rio? What's your question, my guy? let me answer your question. He says he got a promotion. Congratulations. Everybody clap it up. Drop a hand clap emoji in the chat box for Rio. My man says he got a promotion. I understand, brother. Salute to you, man. I appreciate it. You one of the GOATs. Like I told you on Twitter, I ain't got to repeat it here. But what I told you on Twitter, you know what I mean? Let's get into some information, though. So I've been watching DBs. Everybody, please drop them hand claps, man. Drop them hand claps, please. So I've been watching DBs, right? And DBs they're strange this year. They're annoying this year. There's a lot of them this year. They're very similar, right? Let's take a look at cornerbacks first. The first half of the show, we'll talk corners. The second half, we'll get into some safeties. I know a lot of my Cowboy familia, they want to get into the safety talk, but let's be righteous about this. Cornerbacks, right? For instance, let's just take the first three corners, right? I think it's going to be very dependent on scheme this year. Very dependent on what your team is asking for that corner to do, So it's going to be difficult for me to come up with a top 10 because it's really according to scheme, right? I'm seeing Jay Grooven talking about Trayvon Mullen right now. He's saying Trayvon Mullen is a lockdown corner. I don't necessarily agree, but I think Trey Mullen in the right situation can be cool, right? For example, let's take those four guys, right? Okay, let's take Trayvon Mullen, cornerback from Clemson. Let's take Greedy Williams, cornerback from LSU. DeAndre Baker, cornerback from Georgia. Let's take Byron Murphy from Washington, right? Let's just think about it. When you watch film on Trayvon Mullen, he's kind of physical at the point, He's a very upfront type of guy, and he does have some level of lockdown ability. It gets weird with Trayvon Mullen when wide receivers start cutting and shit. You know what I mean? So Trayvon is really good from the jam to a couple of steps behind him, right? But after somebody starts to moving around a little bit, Trayvon Mullen starts to fumble, and you hear the Benny Hill music in the background. You know what I mean? Like Trayvon really has a problem with guys changing direction on him. So I'm not ready to call Trayvon Mullen a full-blown man cover receiver. But if Trayvon Mullen was in cover two, right? Think about how cover 2 is set up, where Trayvon is playing the flats and he's basically only responsible for the flats, basically whatever's in front of him. So he'll ride a hitch, he'll jam until somebody's behind him, he'll pass him on to the safety. He can get a guy, he'll pass a guy along to the inside. That's what Trayvon Mullen is really good at until he starts to change direction. Right? Think about a guy like DeAndre Baker, who's I think is better in all zone aspects, right? Like, he's a fantastic cover 3 guy. He does really well with these buzz techniques, right? As long as he gets to read the quarterback and look at a receiver in his peripheral, he's good. DeAndre Baker from Georgia, man cover guy. Nobody uses the sideline better than DeAndre Baker. What'd I say? Jordan? Basketball. My bad. DeAndre Baker, right? Nobody covers the outside like DeAndre Baker. As far as outside the hashes, when he's in man coverage and we're just funneling people to the sideline, trying to get them out of bounds, nobody's better. If you look at South Carolina State versus Georgia, and for some reason, Deebo Samuel was just kind of, playing on the outside or whatever. He was just outside and, Trayvon was just on him. Deebo ended up out of bounds a bunch because DeAndre Baker would just funnel him. It was very easy for him. You can watch any of these games, right? Whether it be the Florida game, Alabama or whatnot. Like, he was just good at just getting guys out of the paint and man coverage in that way. But if you look at Greedy Williams, I think he's a better man cover guy going across the middle. If a guy like these digs, these slants, these crossing routes, that's where I think Greedy has more so of the advantage. GQ, I'm taking calls, but not right now. I think Greedy has more of an advantage going across the field. So these 4 guys, even though I think Baker may be Trayvon Mullen may be like not in the same tier as the rest of them, but they all got something different. Rock Ya-Sin from Temple, he plays like an angry guy. He plays pissed off, like as far as hitting people in the mouth, jamming guys, also crossing the field. You can kind of catch him if he's in zone coverage for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rock Ya-Sin can be one of those guys. It just depends on what you want to do. If you're a cover 3 team, I'm not drafting Rock Ya-Sin or DeAndre Baker. If I run mostly man coverage, I'm not running with Trayvon or Byron Murphy. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so much discrepancy with these top 4 to 5 guys. Rio saying Murphy is really good at off man. I agree. Like, if he's in a cover 3 situation, which falls kind of into his zone look or whatever, sure, 100%. Like, as long as Byron Murphy can watch the quarterback, read his eyes, and can keep receivers in his peripheral, Byron Murphy's probably the smartest and highest football IQ guy out of these first 5 or so. And I think that's the first tier or whatnot. Dre say Rock Ya-Sin is the best, is the perfect man guy. I mean, he can be because he plays so pissed off, right? Greedy Williams can be a better man guy going over the middle, but as far as, like, good luck trying to run through Rock Ya-Sin. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those single digit Temple guys. So that's why there's no clear cut consensus on top corner, because it basically depends on what you're trying to do. So if some team has Trayvon Mullen ranked higher over Greedy Williams, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Greedy is soft. I kind of agree with what you're saying. I don't want to call Greedy soft, but Greedy may be I don't love football guy. Greedy could possibly be that guy. Like, when LSU is in good standings and they got a ranking on them and football matters and there's competition in town, Greedy can really get up. Greedy beat the shit out of wide receiver DK Metcalf. Greedy beat the dog shit out of DK Metcalf. DK got, a catch or 2? Maybe. But when Greedy Williams is motivated, good luck to you. Towards the end of the season, Greedy looked like he didn't want none. Greedy Williams looked like he didn't want to be on the field. He looked unmotivated, and I just don't have the sympathy for I don't love football guy. You know what I'm saying? There's some mental barriers with Greedy Williams or whatnot. So at first I didn't really have a good idea about why there wasn't a clear-cut number one guy. Well, because everybody does something differently. Everybody does. I haven't gotten into the other corners. I'll be finishing that tonight, and I'll have a full report for you on the Thursday show. But that's the first handful of guys that I was watching, and I really, like it really started to make sense to me. I got a lot of guys on my list I got to watch. I've seen some of these other corners in passing. Based on my Dallas Cowboy interest, Isaiah Johnson from Houston and Juan Williams from Vanderbilt. I mentioned both those guys together because I think they're the same kind of guy. I think they're both long guys that can run, but they don't turn very well. You know what I mean? So if you're a system that requires like if you want someone to play a lot of man, I wouldn't necessarily go Isaiah Johnson or Juan Williams. But if you want somebody to play cover 3, to where you're athletic enough to run up the field, to, just peek at everything outside the brackets in a situation where if you do go for some long ball, there's not a lot of turning involved. You can just be fast and lengthy. You know what I'm saying? That's where Juan Williams and Isaiah Johnson kind of, that's where they kind of make sense to me. You know what I mean? And I'm seeing comments. I agree. Isaiah Johnson is fast. I think Isaiah's a 4.5, a 4.4 guy, but they play the same. Like they play like the same kind of lengthy corner that can run and be long. You know what I'm saying? But they don't break inside very well. You know what I'm saying? So that's my report on these cornerbacks for now. And I'll get into some more guys as we go throughout the week. Hold on, let me set my phones up because GQ really want a piece of this. He really, I don't know, maybe wants to come in and fuss with me. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna give my setup on safeties, and then I'll let you guys. I'll light this thing up. So. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Hey, if y'all want to call into the show, the number is 515-606-5187. Access code 309104. You heard me say it. It's on the screen. It's in the description. I'm sure somebody in the chat box will hold me down if if you ask what the number is or whatever. But there you go. Go ahead and call in now so you can get your spot in line so we can get that thing going. Let's talk about safeties. And I've probably watched more safeties than I have corner. Lamar Stevens is making another point, too, about these corners here. They're not really good tacklers. You know what I mean? Just off the rip, the main tacklers that I do like is Rock Ya-Sin, because he's a gangster. But also Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, in which I don't consider him a safety. He's a nickel corner, in my opinion. I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a fantastic tackler. He plays very pissed off, but that's just my thoughts on that. Let's get into safeties, okay? So off the rip, my number one guy is probably going to be Nazir Adderley, and I'll be dropping my actual ranking video where I break it down and explain all that or whatever, but Nazir Adderley is probably going to be my number one guy. And I think if you look at this class of safeties as a whole, it's a lot of strong safeties. A lot of these guys are box guys. A lot of these guys are tacklers. You know what I mean? So Taylor Rapp is a box guy that probably got some range. Abram, box guy. Chauncey he can play. They play him all over the place, but he's a nickel guy. Thornhill, Darnell Savage, Armani, they're box guys to me. So Armani Hooker from Iowa. They're all box guys to me. So let's just run down this list. So Nazir Adderley, I think he has free safety ability, and I don't think a lot of these guys got free safety ability, right? So there are some people that are kind of questioning his toughness or whatever. I don't necessarily think that's the case. They probably want him to just tackle a little better, but maybe they're evaluating him amongst the other tacklers in the class. But those guys are strong safeties. Nas is a free. And I think Nas tackles pretty okay for a free safety, right? Range, man coverage, I think he got all that. Plus, I think he can tackle pretty okay. So Nas is my number one guy. The rest of the guys I haven't really figured out yet because I'm kind of, just moving them up and down or whatever. But we all know Jonathan Abram, angry guy. He's big missile. Darnell Savage is little missile. Both those guys play very similarly. But this is a question that I have about Jonathan Abram. Jonathan probably gets the nod in this situation because he has great size, right? But for the most part, he's a tackler and he's a missile. But let's talk about this, though. Let's talk about Juan Thornhill and Darnell Savage. Those guys that also tackle, Thornhill has better size than Savage or whatever, but why aren't we giving those guys more of an edge over Abram? Because I think they cover better, right? Juan Thornhill was a former cornerback, and Darnell Savage, I don't know if he was formerly a corner, but when you watch him play, like it looks like he has super coverage ability. He's a very high IQ player. Fantastic in man coverage. I'm talking about Darnell Savage and Thornhill. Fantastic in man coverage. I look at Jonathan Abram. I don't think Abram is very fantastic in man coverage. I think he get beats a bunch. I think he's a pretty good leader. He sets the tone really well. I like a good trash talker, angry guy, tackler. But I've seen him get beat in coverage to where and he's also a pretty he's a damn good blitzer. But Thornhill and Savage, who are also good blitzers, they're fantastic in man coverage. They're fantastic in zone coverage. Abram is not a cover guy. He's a hitter. So why aren't we ranking those guys higher than Abram? So that's going to be one of the points that I'm going to be looking at or whatever moving forward. But I'm a big fan of Savage. I'm a big fan of Thornhill. Taylor Rapp is another guy that plays down in the box. He should probably be ranked higher than Abram too, because I think he's an IQ player. I think he's smart. I think he breaks on passes really well. You know, the 4.7 exists, but I think Taylor Rapp is such a high IQ guy that I don't think his 40 time really matters here. You know, when you watch the film, I mean, you can see Taylor Rapp getting places quickly. You see him do it. You know what I mean? But it's going to be interesting to see where I rank Jonathan Abram amongst the rest of these guys. The more homework you do, the better you feel about drafting players later on. I watched film on Amani Hooker. I think it's Amani Hooker from Iowa. I feel pretty damn good about Amani Hooker from Iowa. You know what I'm saying? He's another player that's just not really high on my radar, but when you watch film on him, he kind of puts it together well enough. He's another solid tackler. He's another box guy. He's another man cover guy, like a tight end covery type of dude or whatever. Pretty good blitzer and all that, strong safety type. And I go, man, if I don't get Savage or Thornhill, I feel pretty damn okay about Amani Hooker. I watched Mike Bell from Fresno State, I believe. Now he's more of a free safety. But Mike Bell from Fresno, like you'll be surprised about these players if you just watch them. You know, I know it's easy to let somebody else do the homework for you. You know what I mean? To just let the pundits talk and whatever they say, you just kind of go by it. But I encourage everybody, man. Hey, go watch a highlight tape or something. If you don't feel comfortable in your DB evaluation, because DB is not my best place in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't evaluate DBs as well as I evaluate D-line and O-line, but I'm still pretty damn good at DB evaluation. Go watch Will Harris from Boston College. You'll like him. You'll like him. Go watch Mike Bell from Fresno State. Hell, Deonte Thompson has fallen a little bit. You know, he's not running. He keeps saying that his wrist hurt. I think he's not running because I think he thinks he's slow. And he doesn't want to happen to him what's going on with Taylor Rapp right now. I'm not worried about Taylor Rapp's 40 time. I'm not worried about it at all. But I think Deonte Thompson is another guy that you know, got a funny looking 40, you know? Excuse me. So as far as Deonte Thompson, he's also like a free safety type of guy. He has range, but he doesn't turn very well, which says a lot about him for you to be a fantastic range guy, but you don't turn great. You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot about his range. Maybe you can kind of teach him a little bit of technique to maybe make that a little better. But as far as like being a free safety that can tackle, I think Deonte Thompson from Alabama is another guy that can tackle, that has range, that can play free safety for you, that won't be a liability, like that won't be soft in the, you know, run game or whatnot. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing some guys saying good things about Will Harris. Hey, man, go watch film on him. Will Harris, Mike Bell, Amani Hooker, Deonte Thompson. Go watch film on these guys that we haven't talked about, not just the first four safeties. And I promise you, you'll walk away liking some of these guys. I learned this with damn running back, man. I get down to Rockwell Armstead, and I go, damn, I like Rockwell Armstead. You may like Sheldon Redwine from Miami. Watch them. Just watch these guys. You'll like them. Okay, so I had to get my first little talk out the way, and Roy Pickett just basically mirrored what I said there. Salute to you, sir. Let's get y'all's opinion on this. I got phones going right now. 515-606-5187. Access code 309-104. Let's go into 310 first. I'm going to let Nick Gashler wait, and I'm going to get into him later because I know Nick will tie this phone all the way up. 310, what's up? Who this?
Man, it's your boy GQ Trailblazer. I told you, boy.
GQ, what's good, famo? What you got for the show, brother?
Man, it depends on where y'all want to start at.
I mean, it's your show. I mean, we talking about DBs today. What's good?
You know, you even take over Mark Holmes' show, baby.
Because I got.
It's all good out here in Cali, man. You know, I want to say a shout out to everybody.
Because I got the juice. That's why I take people's shows off. But tell me about these DBs, sir, cornerbacks or safeties you may like.
All right, man. Let's start at these corners that they brought in. I seen Jordan Wyatt, cornerback, SMU.
Sure.
Derek Thomas, lone corner, Baylor. How you say his name? Amani Oruwariye.
Armani Oruwariye from Penn State.
Oruwariye. I love that.
Oruwariye. Penn State.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Now Isaiah Johnson, Blaze Brown. I watched Greedy Williams. I studied all those guys, man. So It really just depends on what kind of corner you really want and the list that you really want them at. And it really just depends on what kind of corner you want.
Sure. Keep going. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You look. We finally got you on the phone. I totally agree. And that's why it's so hard to rank these guys. Like it's not really like a clear number one guy, because if one team plays cover 3 and the other team plays cover 1 high or whatever, like that's a whole nother configuration or whatever.
Yeah, so when you want to start at corner and people want to talk about Greedy Williams, for one, I'm not a person who loves Greedy Williams or how he plays or his technique, how he gets out of his break, none of that. I'm not a fan of Greedy Williams, but I am a fan of Byron Murphy.
Okay.
Now, that kid, he can ball, and I did hear what you had to say about him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want him, running up down the field, down the sideline, doing covering Odell Beckham.
Sure.
He just don't got the speed to be following dudes down the field like that. Now, Greedy Williams, on the other hand, running in that 4.38, that man is more like a Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, but not Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie at all, but he's more like that. Now, there's no Patrick Peterson coming out.
No.
And I would say people may need to downgrade their grades on these corners, because a lot of these corners, I wouldn't grade them as outside of the, let's say, underneath the top 25.
I think the first one could go like 16, 17, 18, somewhere up in there, I think.
Anybody drafting the corner in this first round, either they just need it desperately or they probably are reaching, because I don't see it this year. There's no Patrick Peterson. There's not a Byron Jones or Marcus Peters. There's no Charles Woodson. Those guys, that's just not this year. Most of these guys are going to be either 2s or 3s.
Sure. Totally agree.
Now, I did get the chance to watch some of the, Blaze Brown.
I don't know.
Go back and
I don't know who that
is. Now, Blaze Brown from Troy, I got the opportunity to watch everything he did. Now, I do like that guy. He's just kind of slow. I seen him run at the combine. He ran in the 4.7s. Okay. So that 4.7 kind of pushed me back a little bit, but it's cool if you want a corner that could run 4.7. Now, if you guys want to talk about safety, I had to go back and watch all the safeties over and over again. Now, what's his name? Armani or Hooker, the Hooker cat.
Hooker from Iowa, yeah.
Now, he is underrated. Anybody that hasn't watched that guy, I think you guys might need to go check him out. Now, I would say personally that Jonathan Abram, first I wasn't giving it to him, but I would say Abram is the guaranteed first-round lock as a safety. And after all the safeties I've been studying and watching, all the corners, he's that guy. Taylor Rapp, he's also a guy, but he's not that guy. Mm-hmm. When you can get a guy like that, like Abram, sure. And the thing about him is he's a dog. He's going to be out there wolfing. Sure. If he misses the tackle, he make a tackle. He blitzes. But I think Taylor Rapp is a better blitzer on his timing, and also bending around that corner as well. Taylor Rapp may get more sacks in the NFL than Abram, but Abram is a dog. I mean, if you're not looking for a guy that's like Earl Thomas, he's not an Earl Thomas.
No.
So
the best,
he's more like
the best.
I would say he's more like a Brian. I would say like he's more like a Brian Dawkins, but he just be wolfing like Jalen Ramsey. And the thing is, you can't like be watching these guys and say, "Oh, I want this guy or that guy or this guy," when you don't really know who that person is. Sure. Like for instance, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, sure. His personality is completely different from a Juan Thornhill. Juan Thornhill is more of a nice guy. He can cover. He got the speed and height and everything. Sure. But when you look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's more of a baller. He got more of a personality like a Shadobia Wouzier, sure. A Jordan Lewis. Sure. He has more of that kind of characteristic and personality. He's more boastful and he's loud, and he makes a lot more plays too. I would say he's more of a poor man's Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, for anybody that didn't know who the Honey Badger was.
Well, that's why I disagree. I think Chauncey is purely a nickel corner. I think you can probably play him at free because he can kind of run a little bit, and you can play him at strong because he does tackle really well. But I like him in the nickel, man.
That's where we're going with it, though, Boss.
I want him to be a super tackling, covering nickel corner. Like, that's where I'm putting him at.
But you see, that's where you're going with it as. Is more like a Honey Badger. He can do exactly. He can damn sure run as fast as Honey Badger. He clocked a better time at the combine than Honey Badger did. Sure. As far as speed wise, sure. But as far as tackling, I would put them on the same level. But you know, the Honey Badger is just wild. Of course, his targeting area sometimes is high as well. Sure. It's not always low. Now, Chauncey Gardner's is like mid to low most of the time. Now, when you talk about the targeting angle for Juan Thornhill, it is low. Sure. Now, that's where it changes all the dynamics, where you talk about the tackling angle. The tackling angle for Juan Thornhill is low. Taylor Rapp, it is everywhere. His tackling ability is skyrocketed out the roof. I love it. Sure. And then when you talk about John Abram, he's that big hitter and wrap-up tackler. And when you stand up, before you get up, he's going to be wolfing at you, screaming, hooting and hollering. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's where you really talk about these safeties and these corners. Now, when you talk about corners for the Dallas Cowboys, Chris Richard has everything to do with that, as we know, and he loves his long corner. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting somebody like a Isaiah Johnson.
Sure.
I love Amani, but I still don't think none of these cats can cover better than David Long, cornerback, Michigan.
You've said that before. I'll be watching film on them tonight and tomorrow, and when we have our Thursday draft show, I'll be able to give you a full report on your Michigan guy, David Long. Hey, but Pete, though, I got a gang of callers though. GQ, appreciate you, man.
All right now.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Salute. Let's get Hey, man, look. I like what GQ call it because he's so West Coast. He say, "Damn, cuz, let me tell you something, dog. Like fam, dog. Like dog. Like I went to the core. Like dog, I went to the core. And I was watching film on him, and like he's a low tackler, dog. Like you know what I'm saying? Like dog. Like he's so West Coast, dog. He's so Cali. Okay, Nick Gash, what the hell you want, man? What's that? What's good? What's up?
Man, let's talk about some safeties for a second. And
let's talk about it.
Right off the bat, I feel you with that nickel corner, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being a nickel corner.
Sure.
What I saw on tape when I watched him, it wasn't even a safety. He belongs as a slot corner. It's that nickel cornerback that can go in and cover those speedy slot receivers. You're right. He can move. He can do well covering those speedy slot receivers. And like, I'm still going to put him at safeties just for the hell of it. But if I'm the defensive in terms of rankings, excuse me. If I'm the defensive coordinator of the team and I'm drafting him, I'm going to put him right in the nickel cornerback because that's number one, where he played in like freshman year. I remember drafting him all the way out in freshman year, and he played there at a nickel corner, and then he made the move to safety, I think, last year.
Well, see,
but
Nick Gash.
The experience of the position.
Well, see, Nick, the way I see it, if I can get a nickel corner that can tackle, then I'll put him at corner and put another tackler at safety. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I get two safeties. You basically get two. Yeah, sure. So you get two safeties, right? Instead of putting him at strong and taking another strong off the field, just be able to play run and base from nickel, which is valuable. So go ahead. You're right on that. Go ahead.
Man, again, I feel like honestly he'd be better at. I mean, I don't know where I'd put him. Like, I like the free safety idea, but at the same time, he can tackle. He can play strong safety. He proved himself as a strong safety at Florida. This kid he's one of my favorite prospects in this class just because of his versatility and where you can put him. It's kind of related to, not exactly, but kind of like Jabril Peppers couple years coming out. You could put him at strong safety. I mean, obviously free safety didn't work, but he was so versatile. You could really put him anywhere.
Sure.
But I want to argue with your Jonathan Abram opinion. Why don't you think Abram can play in man coverage?
Because I don't think he can play in man coverage. I think he can man cover enough to not kill you. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to stay in base formation as much as I possibly can. That's every defense's dream. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to stay in base formation, play versus the run in base, play versus the pass in base. And I think if you put certain matchups on Jonathan Abram, I think he'll get ate up. If you look at, let's say tight ends like Evan Ingram, right? Evan Ingram will probably eat Jonathan Abram alive. Evan Ingram can't get away from Thornhill or Savage. You know what I mean? What if they put you in a situation where your strong safety has to cover one of their nickel corners? You know what I'm saying? That's even worse. Now, if you put Abram in some type of deep zone where he's only responsible for half the field, or maybe like some cover 3 look, then I can live with Abram playing like a deep third or like a deep half. I don't want Abram covering any premier tight ends or cornerbacks in the league. I mean, or wide receivers in the league.
Man, I don't know. I agree with the tight end because I don't think he has the necessary bulk and stuff to be able to do that, and just being able to outmuscle the guys and like outspeed the guys. But I feel like if he plays him against a slot receiver, he could definitely do a lot better. In that format, I feel like he has the speed and he has the acceleration. I mean, I saw a couple plays. Who did I watch him against? Ole Miss and Alabama. I saw a couple good plays where he was able to turn his hips and still stay with the guy moving downfield. So that's just my quick thoughts on his man coverage. But man, look at his tackling is incredible. I mean, like he can go high sometimes, and for the most part he goes low. And he's gonna hit the shit out of you, no matter who you are. That's a quality that I just. Sure. It's one like I put a post up on LDT maybe half a week ago, saying rank your across all positions, rank what you when done the best. What is your favorite trait to watch across all positions? And one of mine is just the aggression and being able to tackle like that in the safeties. That's probably why I have Jonathan Abram rated so highly. But grading him, he came out as a low first rounder, and he was also tied with Nazir as number 1 safety on my board. So
how do you
it's
rank?
Really all up to.
How do you rank Darnell Savage as a tackler?
I like Darnell Savage as a tackler. Let me pull up my scouting report on him real quick.
He got scouting reports, boy, Nico.
I got 120 something scouting reports in this little Google Doc.
You better than me. I call him Big Missile and Little Missile. Jonathan and Darnell, Big Missile and Little Missile.
That's a great way to describe it. I love his tackling.
Sure.
He shows that type of aggression. He shows that. Just that, like I said before with Abram, that ability to go hit the shit out of somebody no matter who you are. I'm always a big fan of that, and I'll always take you if you can be able to do that. Because if you can do that, and I can develop you, you have football, from my perspective, just as a player, if you don't have the aggression for football, get the fuck out of here, because you're not going to get the freak out of here. My bad, I'm only 15.
You are 15. Go ahead. I'm only 15.
But you can get out of here, because it's not going to work for you on the next level. Sure. But if you can play aggressive and if you can play like that, hell yeah, you can have this spot on my team. Because if I can train you on everything else, you'll be good to go. That's what I see in Darnell Savage. I feel like sometimes he needs to put a little bit more effort in. His angles can be improved, and then also I didn't see many reps in man coverage. I just like to see how that works. I mean, I did only watch Texas and Temple this year. So I might have to watch a little bit more tape on that to see more.
Watch my film session.
I'm a big fan.
Watch my film
session. Yeah,
you'll like
it. He's a great player, man. He's number 5 on my safety board. Below Chauncey.
5 is fair. Sure.
Nazir and Jonathan. He's above Deonte. He's above Taylor. He's above Amani Hooker. He's above most of the guys except for those.
So you got Taylor Rapp at 6.
I have Taylor Rapp at 6, yes.
Tell me why you got Taylor Rapp at 6.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good player. All these guys from, let's see, Jonathan Abram, Nazir, and Juan L have like borderline first round, second round prospects. Then it goes Chauncey, Darnell, Taylor, and Deonte are all like tightly wrapped, high-ish second rounder guys. I don't like his ball skills. I mean, they've kind of been built the last few seasons. You look at his.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Look, Nick Gasher, this is the difference, man. I know you've at least done the homework. So if you've done the homework, I can't scream at you. I'm chilling. But go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
You look at his freshman year, he had like something like 5 interceptions. Then it just dropped off. It was like 2 this year and then 3 last year.
Sure.
I mean, like 10 career interceptions in college football is pretty good. But I don't know if it's what I would want in a number 1 type of safety.
They stopped
the range. I feel like
because they stopped throwing to him. But go ahead.
Yeah. You say he's a in the box safety.
Sure.
I somewhat agree. I feel like he's versatile in that way. He could both play free safety and a little bit of in the box safety. He played free safety at Washington.
He can.
But he kind of lacks range. I didn't see many reps where he had to go all the way deep back and turn his hips and be able to move somewhere really quickly.
Sure.
So I'd like to see a little bit more from that.
Sure.
Run support, I think he does well in run support. I think he does well in tackling. I think his instincts are pretty good.
Pretty good? Pretty good instincts, nigga. You making me sick. Pretty good instincts?
Man, my description when I wrote it down has pretty decent instincts and can read the play.
Decent instinct. Taylor Rapp is the smartest safety on this list, Nick Gashler.
Oh, okay. I'll back off of that for a second.
Watch again.
Size, I think is... Huh?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Watch it again?
Yeah, watch it again.
Size, I think, is great. Again, with the versatility, I feel like he plays mostly at free safety in Washington, but I feel like he could actually do a lot better at strong safety, to be honest, because
sure.
He plays up in the box a lot. He's a strong tackler. I guess his instincts. His instincts aren't. I don't think the best in the class. I feel like a guy like Jonathan Abram, maybe Nazir Adderley has better instincts. But
No!
from this
I'm
standpoint,
listening. Go ahead. Don't stop talking because I'm making noise over here. Just go ahead.
But his instincts aren't bad. I mean, again, pretty decent is what I would call them. He knows what's going to happen before the play develops too much. I still see him catching it, reading and reacting a little bit more than just using his natural gut feeling, knowing where the play is going in terms of football.
So let me ask you a question there, Gashley. If Taylor Rapp isn't that fast, if he's a 4.7 runner, how do you think he gets to the plays that he's making?
I'm not concerned about that because if I'm the defensive coordinator who drafts him, I'm going to put him right in a strong safety, and he's not really going to have to worry about it unless it's all the way across the field. And even at that, I feel like his lateral quickness can do pretty well there.
The answer is because he's IQ guy, Voch. But go ahead. What do you think about Juan Thornhill? Tell me about him from Virginia.
I love Juan Thornhill, man.
Okay.
He's Virginia. I love Juan Thornhill. My biggest thing on him is he can be a little bit slow to dissect the play and be able to find where the play is going.
I agree.
But other than that, he's, again, the corner background helps in man coverage. He's got good speed. He's pretty aggressive. He's a good tackler, like going along with the aggression stuff. And he has good ball skills. I mean, I'll check his stats, but I checked his stats when I first evaluated him. He had something past 5 interceptions this season, I think, alone.
Let me ask you this. Do you think I would say, let's just say for the sake of this conversation, his slower mental processing, would you say that's only in the run game, or do you think he has a good feel for, like, coverage? He's just lacking versus the run, you would say?
I run more than pass because he does great in man coverage, and he can he has a good feel in man coverage, but I feel like it's more run because –
Why I say that?
What, first year playing safety?
Why I say that? Yeah. Because he's a former cornerback, right? So so as far as like man coverage, like if he's in zone, he sees shit very well in the passing game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like runs and stuff like that, he can be a bit slow to the punch, and that'll mess up his angle sometime. I actually said that in my film. So I'm glad that you seeing the same thing. But go ahead.
Again, ball skills, 6 interceptions, 7 pass defense. I just pulled up the ESPN stat page in 2018 alone. Just something I really like to see from a free safety like that. It shows he has the necessary range and kind of instincts to jump on balls like that. Similar to, I know you probably don't know his name yet, but I watched him a couple days and he was special. Darnell Pitt from LSU.
Who?
He's a 2020 guy. We'll get into that. We'll cross that road.
Oh, okay, 2020. Hey, look, man, don't be saying 2020 people. I got enough damn 2019 people in front of me, man. Don't be bringing up all these people that ain't even coming out this year, man. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? Deonte, Taylor Rapp, Nazir. Where you got Nazir? I don't think I heard you talk about Nazir.
He was number 1.
Okay, cool. What about Armani Hooker from Iowa? Tell me about him, Armani Hooker from Iowa.
Hang on, hold on. Let me just respond to this from my mama real quick. Sorry.
Excuse me? Man, ain't this some shit?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I was about to bring somebody else in.
I heard you.
I'm about to hang up on you. Okay, Armani Hooker. Tell me about him. Tell me about some of these sleeper guys. If you've seen Mike Bell, tell me about him. Just tell me about it.
Okay. In terms of Armani Hooker, I feel like he's more of a late third to fourth round prospect. You can get great value out of him in the third to fourth round.
Sure. I
just feel like with the underrated kind of stuff, I don't really believe it. His tackling is just mediocre. His angles, I think, need to be developed. I don't think he's an elite athlete. He seems pretty good in his zone coverage. He has good instincts, high football IQ, and then he does well in man coverage. I just think his zone coverage needs to be developed. No, never mind. He does well in coverage. My bad. I'm looking at my strengths and weaknesses here, and I'm tripping. He's also a decent run stopper. I just feel like if he improves on his tackling, he's going to be a lot better. Late third round to early fourth round grade.
I think
from my summary.
I think the zones that he's good in. like he's a pretty good flats guy and he's a good hook and curl dude. I'm not really trusting him in like as a like in a deep zone guy. But if he's close to the line of scrimmage or whatever, I don't really mind him tackling. I mean, it could be better. But he's another one of these guys that's kind of like a nickel corner too as well, right?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Sure. Sure.
I agree with that.
Just picking your brain. And
have
one
you
more
watched
guy.
Mike Edwards?
Who?
Have you watched Mike Edwards from Kentucky?
Nah, too soon. Next time.
Okay. I like this kid. I'm put his name on the list if you haven't heard it already.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Okay, I got some other callers. You got some homework or something you got to do, or you got to wash the dishes or vacuum?
I always got homework to do, man.
I always got
homework to do.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get you up out of here, then, man. Appreciate it, young Nick Gashler.
All right, of course.
Yep.
See you next time.
Yep, that's my young protege, young Nick Gashler. He gonna be all right. Trying to get him to make this YouTube bread, but he want to be lazy. DP, what's good, man? You said in my comment section that Voch, you lucky I didn't call in this thing. So what's up, DP?
Man, you want to do another one of those draft beats again. We're going to get on that O-line, man. Yes, you are definitely the king
Smoke
of the O-line Illuminati. You are.
I like Smoke. We can run it right now. What you want to do, DP?
Oh, shit. I already told you, boy. Hey, anytime you want to get that lifting session going, bro, I come to where you at. I invade anybody's gym.
I ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? Shit. What's good, man? What you got for the show?
Man, I'll stick with the topic of the safeties, man. And like I said, with a defense, it starts up front, man. You win in the trenches. I'm all on. Like I said, having a good O-line, good D-line,
sure.
It takes the pressure off of your backfield.
Sure.
So you could have a 5th round or 6th round safety back there, but if you got a D-line that's giving the quarterback 3 seconds to make a read, he can make an interception. So
totally agree.
You know where I lived at. Even in my professional life, that's where I lived at. Front 7 is where it's at. But safety-wise, I honestly believe you, bro. I think a lot of people are really not understanding how big our signing was for your boy, the strong safety we signed.
George Iloka.
Yeah, George Iloka. I mean, I've been wanting this guy for a long time. Mm-hmm. He is a former All-Pro. He is a solid. And I've been screaming for the dude that basically kept him off the field. People realize J-Ron Curse.
Sure.
J-Ron Curse is the real deal.
Sure.
Curse is the real deal in the Viking organization. He kept them off here because how many safeties could play nickel corner at 6'5" and 210 pounds?
He is fantastic. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. He's big, and his big ass can change direction. George Iloka only played 13 snaps last year, fooling with that dude, man.
That's my point. It's like, oh, well, why, George Iloka said, no, J-Ron Curse is that dude.
Sure.
And again, Mike Zimmer is a great coach. We had him. He was our DB coach.
Sure.
He's a great developer of talent. He got J-Ron Curse in the 7th round, and that dude was about to cash in. I'm telling you, that cat's a dog. Mm-hmm. And that's one reason why Iloka couldn't get on the field because, I mean, he was just that nasty. But Iloka could honestly be, to me, I don't want to really take a big-time strong safety this draft. I don't. Sure. I want to wait next year for Isaiah Simmons. Okay. Isaiah Simmons is the perfect next to kin, if you want to call it, to George Iloka. But Isaiah Simmons in Clemson right now, 6'3", 235, can run all over the field, can hit like a linebacker, can cover like a free safety. Why am I going to wait, me personally, if I'm Chris Richard, and I'm looking at this field of safeties? Yeah, they're all nice. They're all good. I'm not saying they're all bad. I got a bunch of 5'11" guys. Got a bunch of 6 feet guys. Man, where's that dude? Where's that dude where I can make the next Cam Chancellor out of? Where's that dude? He's not in that draft. I heard people talking about your boy Abrams. Abrams is a nice player. Don't get me wrong. Sure. Brother, I've seen dudes like this before. I've seen dudes that come into the league who are 5'10", 5'11". Oh, man, they're smashing people in college. Yeah, when they get to the league and they try to hit grown men who got to put food on their family for their kids, bro, the whole game changes.
Sure.
Hey, listen, man, like I told you, the game changed for me when I made that next level because when I had to go provide for myself, man, listen, man, I'm hitting like my life depended on it, and I'm hitting you for real. Not about grades. I'm hitting you for real.
Yeah.
That's why I always say, you look at your boy, Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders was doing the same thing Abrams was doing when he was in Iowa. He was knocking everybody out. Yeah, then we went to the league and started doing that. Started being on the injury list a lot more often.
Yeah.
Can't hit them grown men like that.
Right. Facts. I'm not necessarily trying to push Jeff Heath off the bridge. I think it's going to be hard to take his job because he's playing strong, but he can cover and play with a little bit of range as well. And as far as these safeties goes, I mean, you know, if they play strong and they play with range, they're probably not gonna make it to us anyway. So by the time we do get to 58, I mean, you know, good luck trying to find somebody to get rid of Jeff Heath though. But I'm with you. Like, I will gladly upgrade there if it's somebody that's worth upgrading. And I haven't gotten into the 2020 draft or whatever, but if your guy is a clear upgrade, then I'm cool with a clear upgrade. You know.
Yeah, and that's one thing I said. I like George. I love him for the year. I mean, again, Abrams is a nice kid. I like him. Heath is a good player. Listen to me. Heath is, like I was joking around with somebody, Heath is that kid, and I know we used to play football back in the days. You remember that one really athletic white kid that he really couldn't do too much. You know, he wasn't that, you know, he didn't have that athletic wiggle to him. But if you tell him, man, listen, I need you to go run and hit that gap as hard as you can, full steam, man, he will fly and hit that thing like nobody's business. But if you tell him to think, you want to tell him to outlive himself, he just can't do it. That's Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath cannot think. He cannot outlive. If you tell him to do a job, that's what's going to happen. That job's going to get done. That job's going to get done at full speed. And everything, I even on my own channel, I rave about that one damn play with your boy rolling out. Jeff Heath's job was to watch the outside, make sure the running back doesn't go out. He is standing there for 2 seconds as the quarterback is rolling out his way. Dude, you want a 4-4. You can cut that cat off. Damn. And I'm looking at him like, oh, he's just doing his job. Damn. He's just standing there doing his job.
Damn.
I'm blown. I said, no. I said, what am I expecting? That's who he is. He's just going to do his job what he's told. He's not going to ad-lib. He's not going to be a playmaker.
DP, I feel you. DP, I feel you.
George also will take.
I feel you, but if my offensive line was better, maybe we score more points than Jeff Heath, not even in that damn situation.
Let me get on your offense.
Well, go ahead.
We're going to get on your offense line, because I'm telling you with that foolery. Oh, and you know what? I even went to do some research. Man, listen, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama on the job. So I'm in the hotel chilling, and I heard you. I was like, I can't believe you to say this. I went back. The last 10 Super Bowl champions. Sure. The last 10 Super Bowl champions, their offensive line did not take up less than 11% of their cap. 11%. I went back the last 10. And right now, the Cowboys O-line take up 30% of our cap.
Well, shit.
We can't keep on doing it, bro.
Well, shit. Hold on. The last 10, 6 of them Tom Brady. Shit, we ain't got Tom Brady on our team. I ain't trying to hear that shit. We ain't them. We ain't them.
But Tom Brady ain't in the last 10. I'm the dude. I went back. The Eagles. Peterson was his highest paying. Lane didn't even get paid yet. Their line is not even in the top 10 in their thing. The Broncos. Dude, I went back to Super Bowl 43.
Okay.
And I did all the numbers. I'm like, dude, and honestly, not to say that I don't want the talent. Don't get confused when I'm saying of not want the talent.
Because I was just about to fix you. I was just about to address you. I care nothing about what the offensive line costs. I'm talking about the production. You tell me this, last 10 Super Bowl guy, did any of those offensive lines give up 58 sacks in the year? I bet you they didn't. That guy sacked 58 times, fam. 58. That's insane. You can't win you can't win a Super. That the Broncos had one of the greatest defenses of all time. We ain't got one of them neither. We ain't got one of them neither. Shit.
Hey, you asked me a question. I answered it for you.
We have a quarterback that has a lot of room to grow, that's not fully developed yet, and we got a horse at running back. Now, DP, you're an ex-football guy. I'm an ex-football guy. You know you win the game with horses. You understand that.
Yeah.
Fix your damn offensive line. I'm tired of Ezekiel Elliott getting hit at the 0 and gaining 3 yards. Let's hit him at the 5 so he can gain 8 one time or another. You know what I'm saying?
Everything you say, remember I just told you, I'm not arguing the fact of talent.
Okay, cool.
I'm arguing the fact that we just cannot keep, because let's put it this way. Ron Leary was a guy for us that was undrafted, that we developed, and he was a dog. And that's a lot, even I've listened to even the Bradleys, a lot of the other smarter cap guys versus regular football guys.
Sure.
everybody says, I mean, eventually, if you have, and we have technically 3 Pro Bowlers on our O-line.
We do.
We have 3 Pro Bowlers.
Absolutely.
Tyron Smith,
Sure.
Frederick, and Zach Martin. We should be able to get decent fill-ins at those other positions. We should not need to dedicate first-round picks for those other 2. 3 is enough.
So DP,
5 you can't afford.
So DP, you're making fantastic points, but trust me, I've lost sleep over this. So let me say this to you, DP. If Randy Gregory gets pancaked and D-Law makes the tackle, nobody notices. If Tavon Austin get jammed off the line, but Cooper gets wide open and catches the ball, nobody notices. If Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, and Connor Williams, if they all get pancakes and Lael Collins gets run over, what happens?
Oh yeah,
you need your offensive line is different. Offensive line is the most different unit than the rest of them. You need 5 guys that can play, and Lael Collins ain't playing good enough for me. That's all.
I'm not. Hey, listen. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Say that. Oh man, I'm not saying our line is great by any. Oh, it should be great. Lael, and I've said for the longest, and I know you said he's a bad hands, his head placement. Inside guard, you can deal with that a little bit better. When you're on the outside dealing with defensive ends, that's a lot tougher because there's no one there that can help you. And you know what I'm saying? With Lael next to Travis Frederick can help him. He has no help on those edges.
DP, if I came out here and say I want to draft the right guard, then y'all have the right to say something to me. If I say I want to draft a left tackle, y'all have all the right in the world to say something to me. My left guard is going to be playing right tackle soon, in my mind. I want him playing right tackle soon.
My mind as well.
In my mind. And for whatever reason, Lael Collins ain't going to guard. If Lael Collins ain't going to guard, then Xavier Su'a-Filo is at left guard. And that is way too trash for me. I need better.
No, it is. Well, I'm telling you that. I even looked on that. I really kind of went back there and I said, man, we can get out there, not on a scrap heap, but we can find a decent guard. We can find I mean, to me, it just can't. I honestly, when I did the numbers to this, and I'm not saying break down Draft Geek and all that stuff. I said, wait a minute. If other teams, even the Rams, who quote unquote last year was voted the number 1 O-line in the NFL, there wasn't a bunch of first rounders on there. No, they kept on. They found the right guys to fit, and basically, and as an O-line guy, you're an O-line guard. If you get 5 guys that can work together as a unit, even your weakest link can be brought up with that unit. And that as an O-lineman.
I was a center. DP, you know what that sound like to me? That sound like, okay, D-Law was a second round pick, Robert Quinn was a first round pick, Randy Gregory was a first round pick. There's no need to upgrade defensive tackle because our ends are so good. That's what that sounds like to me. That's what that sounds like. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
I'm thinking O-line is totally different.
That's the same thing.
I can bring your boy. What's your boy that just kept with this pick? He's DJ Fluker. What do you feel about him? He a guard. He's a free agent right now. What do you feel about him?
He's fat and he's not on the team for a reason.
He was a hell of a run blocker for the Seattle Seahawks last year.
We got to throw the ball at some point.
Hey, but what do we like to do?
Look, DP, I've thought all this through, fam. I've thought all this through.
Oh, I know you do. Listen, all I say is I know you love your O-line, and I can't fault you. Sure. My whole thing is, and that's what I was like, oh my, I said, dude, listen, I understand you love your O-line, but at the end of the day, we got to be able, we can't put so much resources there because just like you said, we got to pay some of these dudes. Some of these dudes, like next year, we just did our cap after I looked at the cap after D-Law signed. Okay, we went from having $100 million down to about $80-something million.
Yep.
Man, that's not touching Dak. That's not touching Amani. That's not touching Zeke. That money's going to disappear real quick.
I 100% that money is a situation here. That's why Lael Collins is owed $10 million. Kick his ass off a bridge. You good to go. DP, I've thought this through. I'm not emotional, DP. I've written this. Look, I got DP. Look, I got note cards on my wall about points and counterpoints about people trying to say something about offensive line to me. I'm ready, man.
Yeah, because you're the O-line Illuminati. They don't know about you.
I'll get out of here. DP, thanks for the call, man.
You too, brother, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Not scared of DP. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with DP? I ain't scared of him. Shit, D-Law second round pick, Randy and Robert Quinn a first round pick. Why you want to upgrade your one tech? Same thing. Oh shit. Let's G from Miami, hang tight for me. 901, who this?
My name is Mississippi man. What's going on, Voch?
What's up, Mississippi? What you got for the show, man?
Well, I had a question, but first let me address DP, man, because I don't think he understands.
Get him.
I'm not a Cowboys fan by a long shot, but I got to get this off my chest.
Go ahead.
Stop underestimating the talent that you need an offensive line to win. When you have great offensive linemen, that makes Dak Prescott look like the second coming. Dak Prescott, first year, he looked like the second coming. It was, oh, my God. But really, it was, oh, my God, this dominant offensive line. A dominant offensive line will have Nick Foles be a Super Bowl MVP. From backup quarterback to Super Bowl MVP. Why? Because you ain't got shit but real gangsters on the O-line. You need real gangsters on the O-line, just like you need real gangsters on the D-line. That's where football starts at.
Yes, sir.
The other people you can plug and play, you can dip and dunk, and you can move guys around and scheme shit. But you can't scheme that line. You cannot scheme. You can't scheme the line, sir.
Damn.
It's a reason why Larry Allen, you know what I'm saying, he blew the fucking train and let you know, motherfucker, I'm coming and ain't shit you can do about it. You can't scheme. You can't scheme on the line. Ain't no scheming. Ain't no scheming.
Hell yeah.
Either you getting your ass whooped or you whooping ass.
Hell yeah. Talk to him.
Okay. Now that I got that off my chest, because, you know, side note, that's how my Chargers got their ass blowed out. You can't scheme that fucking line. But anyway.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Anyway, I know we talking about DBs, right?
Yes, sir.
My guy was saying, he was trying to pinpoint on the strong safety position. And I was just thinking, what are your thoughts of either Devin White or Devin Bush at strong safety instead of linebacker? Do you think that'll be a good fit for a team that already has a solidified linebacker? Or do you think they need to play linebacker? Because they are a little small.
I get it, but I'm not trying to put those guys at a whole new spot. I think they're both Sam linebackers because they kind of have a lack of mental processing, in my opinion. But I don't want a safety that lacks mental processing. You know what I'm saying? Like my safety's got to be smart. My linebackers got to be smart. And the dumbest linebacker I could possibly have is my Sam linebacker. And, you know, that's just what it is. I don't want to put them at a spot where they got to think even more.
Yeah, but in the right scheme, a strong safety is somewhat of a Sam linebacker.
Sure.
You know, you got that single high safety. You really look, be fast and go to the football. You know what I'm saying? Like a Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor wasn't a fucking football genius. He was like, okay, be big, be physical, go to the football.
Sure. Everything
will work itself out.
But Cam had enough. Cam Chancellor had enough sense to understand what was going on. Like if it happened in front of him, like with a good deal of space in front of him, he could still kind of process that. You know what I mean? You only want Devin White and Devin Bush responsible for linebacker to running back. You don't want them looking at the whole field talking about running to go tackle somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, they almost fast for no reason.
No, because I think if you got fast Sam linebackers, in which, you know, Sam linebackers are normally the least athletic, if you got fast Sam linebackers, then you just got a fast ass linebacking core. Look at what Carolina does with Shaq Thompson. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but they line him up as Sam. He's not the best mental processing guy in the world, but they got 3 linebackers that can run, so it works out for them.
I got you. So it'll have to be them collective as a unit, kind of like what they got going on in Jacksonville. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I was just wondering about that, because when I see 4-4 and I see 230-ish, and I know that 230 is really 220 in college. You know, the guys put on weight to go to the combine. I'm thinking, I don't know, because you got to hire some type of guys. You got to hire some type of guys with some real defensive linemen that's going to demand double teams. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have no real defensive linemen in front of those guys, their speed will get negated.
Sure. I agree. Totally agree. Appreciate you, brother.
Ain't no thing. Be safe out there, Voch.
Yeah, salute. And we got one more call. We're going to wrap this thing up, and I'm going to go play Red Dead Redemption. G from Miami, what's good?
What's good, Voch?
Doski Woski, my guy. What you got for the show?
Nah, man. I see a lot of people complaining about this corner class, but I like it. Like, in terms of finding a secondary corner, as you know, my team, we already have our top corner, and Xavier Howard. I just want to know, what's your opinion on some guys you could kind of pair up with them? I think we're transitioning to a 3-4 defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
With Brian Flores. Xavier Howard is excellent zone guy.
Sure.
I was looking at some film of DeAndre Baker. I kind of like his pairing and stuff like that, and with like other cornerbacks that could go, possibly, because I don't think we're gonna really get corner in like the first maybe 2-3 rounds. It's pretty much gonna be like the trenches up inside round 3. But with some good, you feel me? Like, we already got our nickel and Bobby McCain. We got Minka. It looks like we're going to probably have a single high free safety. We got our main top guy, Xavier Howard. What you think is going to complete that trifecta right there? Like a good underrated or sleeper late round prospect?
It depends on what y'all like to play. Like, are y'all like a cover 3, cover 2 team, 1-0? What y'all do?
I would say not cover 2, probably cover 3. Okay.
So Minka is y'all free safety? Is he playing deep middle or is he playing halves?
Right now they're trying to experiment with having him deep middle.
Okay, so it's cover 0, cover 1 mostly. Cover 3, cover 1, cover 0. I mean, shit. Get you a guy like get you a guy with some kind of versatility that can transition from cover 3 to cover 1. Go get DeAndre Baker or something. I think he fits enough to where he can play both of those. I was about to say Byron Murphy, but I don't really want Byron Murphy man covering people and cover 0 with no help. You know what I mean? But I do think DeAndre is good enough to do that. So DeAndre Baker from Georgia is solid enough. And then you can call back Thursday when I fully do all my research on these corners, and I might have a 4th round guy that can probably help you out a little bit.
Yeah. I was about to say, and if we let's say we trade our pick back, right, from the 13th.
Sure.
And we pick up, I don't know, like an extra 4th or something like that. Like, what do you think is too? Because I'm saying, like, if we pick a corner, like let's say like the late 1st, like, what do you consider? What's the gap in terms of players between like worthy of a 1st rounder and a reach? Because I'm like, if you could get Greedy Williams in like the later round, like the 1st round, would that be considered a reach? Because I don't think DeAndre Baker's going to last the 3rd round. Like, I'm positive he's not.
3rd round. Like Kendall Sheffield. I would say Isaiah Johnson maybe. Joanne Williams, Sean Bunting from Central Michigan. Guys like that maybe kind of sort of fit in the 3rd round.
Yeah. Also, one last question. I'm a big University of Miami fan.
Show the red wine?
Right now we got... what happened?
Talking about red wine?
No. I'm saying right now we got about 3 defensive backs that are kind of getting good looks. And Michael Jackson, Cedric Redwine, and Jaquan Johnson. What's your little mini evaluation of both? How do you think the order is going to go from all 3 of them? Like, who's going to go first? And then second or third.
I think Red Wine's gonna go first, but I also think he's gonna be the only one that matters. I like his senior Senior Bowl tape is a little better than his game tape, but what that means to me is that he just got better over the season. So I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah.
Sheldrick probably go like third round, fourth round, something like that. Depends on the team.
Yeah, I felt like he improved from his senior, like his junior season, all the way up to his senior season. But someone that I felt like it kind of like the opposite happened was Jaquan Johnson, because I remember heading into his senior year, he was talked about as potentially being like a first rounder safety. Like he's small, he's a bit on small, and he's about 5'10". Right. But he's a very good tackler, very good hitter, very good smart IQ guy. I feel like, like a bad, like kind of like a okay senior season, and the fact that he ran a 4.7 kind of like hurt his draft stock a little bit. Sure. But I think Jaquan Johnson and Michael Jackson, I think whichever two teams get those guys are gonna get absolute studs like as late pick. I think Jaquan Johnson. I feel like, the size is kind of concerning and the speed, but I feel like if you put him as like a box safety, I feel like someone who's like smart enough to he has really high IQ, like higher than Cedric Redwine.
Listen, man.
Very good team leader.
Listen, man. I don't want to let you down, dog, and I know you love your University of Miami Hurricanes, dog, but they may be like 6th, 7th round. They may go undrafted, dog. Sheldrick got the best chance of going higher than that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just so go ahead.
Not even Michael Jackson.
Not even Michael Jackson, dog. He might be one of those undrafted guys to where you may think people may want him, so you get him in the 7th. But I'm not buying it. No.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. But that's what it is. Because I kind of want a really good corner to pair up with Xavier Howard. But that we're trying to work on signing him long term. Sure. But if that's not possible, is there any corner you think? And I know you said wait till Thursday. I'll probably save. I know I'm gonna save this question till Thursday after you do a little bit more research.
All right, cool. Just so I call back in Thursday, and I'll have some more information under my belt. Then we can run it for the cardio. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Voch.
Yep. Shouts out to 1980. He's in the chat box right now. If you're a Cowboy fan, go on over there and check his channel out. Nene, I'm checking the Discord. Dang, leave me alone. Dang, I'm going. Dang, woman. I'm going to the Discord right now. God, I'm going. Dang. Nene. That's why she bugging, because she want her question answered. That's why. Because she the first question in the Discord. That's what it is. Nene say, Voch Lombardi. I'm seeing a lot of mocks that have the Seahawks going wide receiver or defensive tackle at the 21st pick. Now that Seattle's gotten Russell's deal done, don't you think they should go for an offensive lineman to protect their investment? If so, who? Side note, if they get Cody Ford, I'm going to be so mad. Well, Nene, I mirror your sentiments. 1980 dropped the dub in the Super Chat. Salute to you, sir. Pardon me, Deuce in the Super Chat. Salute to you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming through. You one of the legends out here. Yeah, Nene, if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan and Russell Wilson is your guy, then yes, you should probably draft offensive line. The only thing that makes me a little, that makes me think that they wouldn't is because Russell been their investment and they still hadn't drafted nobody to play offensive line for his ass. Like they flat out act like Russ don't need offensive line help. Even last year when they only had when they had a first round pick, didn't have a second, didn't have a third, they drafted the running back. The running back that didn't even start when they could have used offensive line help when offensive linemen were on the board. Isaiah Wynn was there. Hernandez, all those guys were they were there. So maybe the Seahawks don't value offensive line in that way, but Russ keep running for his life. And When I see Russ, I see Dak Prescott. So when I tell people, hey, let's draft offensive line, I don't want my quarterback running for his life like Dak Prescott does. Know what I mean? Who else been in the Discord? Since Nene really wanted me to check the Discord. Oh yeah, she also said if Cody Ford goes there, I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off too. For a video later, thoughts on Mac Wilson. Also, can someone tag me to the appropriate time on the video? Is this a bad way? So I'm not gonna make a Mac Wilson film session. Good try, Boomer. 2420. I'm not gonna make a Mac Wilson film session. But he's kind of like Devin Bush and Devin White. they lack mental processing, but they run around pretty quick and they tackle people. But they can, they can develop their mind game a little bit more, reading keys a little better. So, only thing I'm interested in tonight is hearing what Voch's safety research is at. Well, Ricochet. You know who the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, that's where my research is at. Mo says, how high would Jared Tillery go if he weren't maybe I don't love football guy? Man, that's a fantastic question. If Jared Tillery wasn't maybe I don't love football guy, then this defensive tackle class would be real heavy in the first round. You know what I mean? I kind of shut it off at Christian Wilkins as far as D tackles go. So first round D tackles, right? Quentin Williams up there. Jeffrey Simmons is there. Christian Wilkins is there. I consider Rashawn Gary a 3-tech as well. So I put him as a first round 3-tech as well. If Jerry Tillery didn't have maybe I don't love football guy concerns, then Jerry Tillery would be in the first round, right up in there with those guys. But I'm a Cowboy fan, and fresh off this David Irving thing, I'm really skittish about players that are I don't love football guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't love football guy is terrifying to me. Like, David Irving flat out said Jason Garrett was mad at me because he was mad at me because I didn't put in the effort and go the extra mile, and he thought I could have done better. What kind of Wile E. Coyote shit is that? Jason Garrett is hating on me because he recognizes that I'm talented, but he wants me to work harder so I can be even better. What in the blue fuck, bro? Come on, man. So sure, I don't love football guy is kind of scared of me. I'm very skittish on maybe I don't love football guy. So yeah, Jerry Tillery is kind of a head scratcher to me. So Nazir Adderley is the best center fielder free in the draft. Are there any other safeties close to his skill set? Nah. I think Nazir Adderley is one of the only ones that can play free from the middle of the field in a cover one type set. I do think some of the other safeties, I think Taylor Rapp, Thornhill, Savage, depending on how you use them. I think in like cover two situations where they're only responsible for half of the field, I think they got pretty good range in that way, where like 50-50 or whatnot. But like in a cover one, type of deal to where I'm in the middle of the hashes and I got to play from numbers to numbers, then that's only Nazir Adderley. I don't think nobody else can do that though. Oh, shoot, I forgot Panthers worked out Cody Ford today. Somebody give me some prayers. Man, I need Cody Ford to drop all the weed out his pocket and get dropped a couple rounds so Dallas can get him. Boy, oh, boy. Let's see. We at 1 hour, 26 minutes. I'll take 4 more minutes of chat box questions. So, chat box, if you have any questions, you can drop them now. For those of you that are that came in kind of late, don't forget I'm doing a draft show. I'm covering all all 3 days of the draft. I'm taking out my red suit and my web slingers because I got power, and with great power come great responsibility. So I'll be working for the draft. I'll be doing an hour pregame show. I'll be talking about each pick and how they fit within the depth chart. I'll at least do that for day 1 and day 2. Day 3 goes by pretty fast, and I'll kind of give my evaluation on that as that goes. But most importantly, I'll be doing phone calls and we can react after the draft or whatever. And plus, we got jokes. Like I'm gonna talk about Mel Kiper about how his mouth don't move, but it looked like his mouth was wide open at the same time. I don't want to talk about Russell Wilson today. I just don't. Kevin says, Voch, what's your ideal pick at 58? I really like Elgin Jenkins from Mississippi State. He could play left guard and center for you. That's my ideal pick, but you know how that go. Let's see. Voch, I got you. I got some fam that can drop a pound off at his dorm. I don't think Cody Ford's in a dorm no more, famo, but I feel you. Yeah, Steph, don't ask me about Russell Wilson. I fussed with about 12 people on Twitter today. I went on Twitter and I said Russell Wilson's not elite. And I was just running and I was listening to a podcast and there was some people calling Russell Wilson elite. And I was like, damn, I'm glad Russell Wilson got his money. He's a fantastic player. I don't think he's elite, but he's cool. And people like, there was one guy that looked at me and said, you know what? Russell Wilson may not be the best thrower, and he may be inconsistent with his accuracy, and he may throw that bit to like security and shit, but he's elite. And I'm like, man, you can be a damn good football player and not be elite. You can be a Pro Bowler and not be elite. You can be fantastic and win Super Bowls and not be elite. People just get mad when their guy get excluded. Like if I come out with a top 5, the first thing that's going to happen is somebody going to be like, what happened to number 6 guy? Why isn't this guy in your top 5? I'm not saying this guy's trash. He's just not in my top 5. Whatever. What else? If Eric McCoy and Taylor Rapp are on the board at 58, who are you taking? I sincerely don't think Eric McCoy is a first or a second round pick, but I don't know, man. They doing their thing out there, man. Kuiper and them are mock drafting their ass off with Eric McCoy, but Eric McCoy is like my 4th best center. And that's not bad. I like Eric McCoy. You know what I'm saying? But I think Garrett Bradbury is better. I think Elgin Jenkins is better. I think Ross Pierschenbacher is better. I got a lot of respect for Ross Pierschenbacher because he wrestled Jeffrey Simmons for 4 quarters and lived. You know what I mean? And Eric McCoy is a fine player. I just don't think he's a first or a second round pick. Voch, add Dennis Daly to your O-line rankings? No. My top 15 is my top 15. I'm good on that. Voch, can Savage or Thornhill beat out Heath if drafted at 58? I think Thornhill has a better chance to beat Heath because Thornhill can cover. But damn, Savage can cover too though, so shit. I mean, we'll see. Sure, maybe. We'll see. It depends. Yeah. We'll see. Shit, we'll see. What up? L Cool, no questions until you apologize to Steph. What did L Cool do? Like, what did he say? So I can roast him if he said something mean. Because if he said something mean, I'll just roast him and get it over with. But Dennis Daly. Yeah, Dennis Daly from South Carolina. He's, solid player. Sure, he's cool. Voch, do you see any centers going in the first round? Garrett Bradbury should be a first round pick. He should. Does he anchor well enough to be in the NFL? Yeah, he should. He should. He said I was old as fuck. Oh, L Cool sound like somebody that licks envelopes for fun. I bet he saves sunflower seed shells after he eats them. Shut up. Get out of here. Quit talking about Stephanie. Your goofy ass. Goofy. Voch, with Kellen, do you think this offense will be better? The last Giants game was a good example. I heard he called the whole game, and the tape supports the claim. I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see, my guy. We'll see, my guy. Is Lindstrom plug and play OG day one? I think so. I really like Chris Lindstrom. He's one of my guys. He's one of my sons, one of my children's. And I think he can step in and play left guard for you. Or I think he can play left or right guard. Yeah, sure, depends. Voch, which linebacker do you say we take later in the draft? I'll tell you next week when I do linebacker when I do linebacker study. Where do you have Chase Winovich ranked? Well, Chase isn't one of my top 10 guys, so I don't necessarily have him ranked. But Chase cool, but I don't necessarily think Chase can translate into an NFL defensive end. Based on his build, Chase could probably be a linebacker, but I don't think he's athletic enough to be that linebacker. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not that big on Chase Winovich right now. So apologies. What else y'all got? If Zach Allen's there at 58, would you? We just added Robert Quinn. We got some other D line helping there. I'm not trying to add too many defensive ends. No, we good. We good. So L cool. Where the other L at? Cause you keep taking them. You get it? L cool. He's supposed to have 2 L's, but there's only one. Where the other L? Cause he keep taking L. Oh shit. Voch. Voch. All this talk with safety at 58. The boys go a different route and go offensive line. Who can play safety that currently is a cornerback, especially in the later rounds? I think later in the rounds you wouldn't have to take a cornerback and make him play safety. I think it's plenty of safeties that can play for you. If you go offensive line at 58, then I'm fine with Darnell Savage at 90. I'm fine with Armani Hooker at 90. You know, you can get Mike Bell in the compensatory 4th round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's plenty you can do. I ain't worried about it. L Cool. You know what L Cool sound like? Y'all remember on Don't Be a Menace 2-pick had a gang where they used to like jump rope and shit? L Cool sound like a gangsta ass jump roper. Like a mean ass double dutcher. Trayvon Mullen is a top 3 DB in this draft, hands down. I don't necessarily agree, but it's all good. We don't talk about Stephanie right here. Voch, which DB do you think would be great in the 6th or 7th round picks? I'm not there yet, but I'm doing my research today and tomorrow and early Thursday. So I'll be able to let you know then. Nobody likes my supervisor. Who's your supervisor? L Coop? Y'all got to close tonight? Versatile offensive lineman or one-trick ponies? Nobody likes one-trick ponies. Nobody does. If I'm gonna get an offensive lineman, I would rather a lineman that can run block and can pass block and is strong and can move. You know, I think when we get into the territory of offensive linemen losing traits, I think they shouldn't be drafted at that point in the second or third rounds or whatever. After like 3rd round, I'm not looking for offensive linemen. I'm not doing it. You know, like think about why like running backs go in the 4th round. Like they may be short or something, you know? So sure, like get the short corner that can cover or the short running back that can go. You know what I'm saying? That'll work. But like a 4th round offensive line, I'm not doing that. Is Allen a one-trick pony? Allen who? Who is Allen? Who is Allen? I'm fasting, so I'm really going heavy on my water today. Pardon me, y'all. Is Josh Allen a one? No. Josh Allen is not a one-trick pony. I see people like labeling him as a like as a linebacker when he should be labeled as an edge guy. But Illuminati gonna do what they do. They gonna do what they do. Y'all got till 1:40 to get y'all questions in, and I'm gone. Who else up in here? Who else? Who else? Taking calls? I did earlier, not anymore. Voch, how much stock do you put into player interviews? I think player interviews are very important. I think they're very important. Some positions you need communicators, so you communicate with these guys to see if they communicate well. In these interviews, you put take it easy, Rio. Thanks for the super chat, man. You a legend. Some teams in these interviews they put quarterbacks on the dry erase marker board to see if they dabba dabba dooba doo. But most importantly, they find out if these guys love football or not. And, I don't love football guys, so we'll see. Tillery would be top 5 if he was a better run stuffer. Attitude isn't the problem. I don't think Tillery's a bad run stopper. I think he should probably just control himself a little bit. I don't think he's a run stopper. But I think he can control his game versus the run a little bit, but I don't think he has problems run stopping. Is what I'm saying. He can get a bit chaotic sometimes, but I think with a little bit of coaching, he'll be okay. Slim says, "Am I streaming for the NFL schedule tomorrow?" Nah, fam. Nah. I don't have to jump on every live stream, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to let my other guys have it work. I'm going to let them, get it in and let them, I'm going to let them get some views, man. I'm going to let Law Nation get some views, man. And, I'll probably do a video later or something after everybody else get theirs in, I'll be studying for the draft. I saw him end up on the ground a lot. Well, because he's so chaotic. You know what I mean? Like, think about so like it's the verbiage that I use, right? I always call them chaos players, controlled chaos players. Think about a controlled chaos player that comes off the ball, punch guys in the chest, extends, finds them, disengage, right? Like, that's a controlled chaos player. Tillery is strong as fuck at the point of attack, but he can get a bit chaotic sometimes, right? I think if you have length and power at the point of attack, you can be a solid run stopper. You know what I'm saying? You just got to develop the game to get there. The problem with Ed Oliver is I don't really see Ed Oliver punching and extending and finding the football. Ed just get upfield and bust ass. You know what I mean? Tillery has some of that in him, but I have seen Tillery at least punch people and extend. Think about Rennell Wren from Arizona State. He also has a little bit of chaos in him as well. And I was talking to Dan about this earlier, but Rennell Wren at least has evidence of punching people in the chest, extending, and finding the football. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Tillery do it. You know what I'm saying? Is he consistent at it? No. But you can absolutely train him to get there. Some people can't be trained. They're just stuck in their way. You know what I'm saying? Best run stoppers are Quinnen and Dexter. You won't get an argument out of me. Voch might have to answer this. If we did go offensive line at 58, who would you want? Elgin Jenkins. I want Cody Ford at 58, but he ain't going to be there. But Elgin Jenkins. Rennell Randall, first string prospect. Yeah, well, he's not the best prospect in the world. Anyway, hey, y'all like this video? Don't forget about my live draft streams that I'm doing. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, so just in case you forget that it's Tuesday and Thursday, you can at least get the update when the hotline bling. You know that I'm going live. Tupac definitely over Biggie, and we can have that conversation later on. But I definitely got Tupac over Big. What else? Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLONBARDI. But Patreon is more important than food and water. And support the merch if y'all want it, all right? Y'all hold down for the Doski Woski and the Peace. Peace. Salute.